Hey friends, Maloa here, and today I am back with the Brandywine Theater Company. They've got another exciting production planned for us this coming Friday, and they have graciously agreed to spend some time with me answering questions and sharing with us their exciting news of what they've been up to.
So I'm Bijon. I'm the executive producer for the Brandywine Theater Company, and I'm also the director for this show that everybody recognizes as Once Upon a Time, but it's really Into the Woods. And this show started life as several hundred years ago as fairy tales from the Brothers Grimm that we're all familiar with. James Lapine came along and crafted a fairy tale of his own and intertwined it with the Brothers Grimm's and came up with a story. Stephen Sondheim applied a orchestral score, masterful orchestral score to it, and we have the Broadway musical known as Into the Woods. Without spoiling too much of the show, it's about childhood fairy tales and dreams and growing up and learning lessons from those fairy tales. So we're really looking forward to it. It's a very fast-moving show, and we're having a ball with it. When and where can you see it? So we will have two performances. One is Friday, March 10th at 8 p.m. and Saturday, March 11th at 6 p.m. We are doing a landscape setting outside, so it will be at the village just below the Mathom house in Michel delving of the Shire on the Brandywine server, both shows. It was a very aggressive rehearsal schedule because it is such a very fast show. As a director, I tried to get us into scheduling a 2-hour rehearsal every Wednesday nights, as which we tried to get as many people on the cast as possible into those rehearsals. And that rehearsal schedule ran for probably 6 or 8 weeks. In addition, we had sidebar rehearsals where individual cast members and some members of the band would go off and rehearse on their own time just to refine their roles and the hot spots they had in their cast.
Hi, I'm Khae. I'm the BTC creative director, and we have a cast for this show of about 20. We have actually 15 actors. We have about 5 crew, and we're very fortunate to have a dedicated 10-piece band. And let me tell you, getting 20 people together to work on a show is not an easy thing, but fortunately we have a very dedicated crew, and everybody worked very hard to make this show the best they possibly could, and I'm very proud of them all.
What would y'all say is the most innovative part of this show from those that you've done before?
I think we were very innovative in our use of our resources so that the cast could minimize our rehearsal times and get these shows to the curtain in a timely fashion.
That's a good point. I thought what was particularly innovative was using an open air setting as opposed to using a stage. Into the Woods lends itself to being in the woods. And so that's exactly what we did. But it had its own set of challenges because there's no backstage. We have to move from place to place. The audience, the band, the cast, everyone moves from place to place, which makes it exciting and interesting, but it's also a bit of a challenge and something that we haven't done before and haven't seen done before.
Hi, everybody. This is Tahnys. I'm the artistic director for BTC. I have to say, one of the things that we've done differently in this show that I really, really admire the people who were involved in doing this, and especially Bijon, who kind of took point on this, was the way that the music came together. Into the Woods is a very popular show, but believe it or not all of the music is available to get for us to arrange from a MIDI file. So the music, a lot of what you're hearing in the show is actually arranged in other ways, and I think Bijon will talk about that later, but the way that the music came together for this show was like no other show we've done before this, so I think that's something that we should be very proud of.
How did you guys settle on this set location?
Miss Rav, my sweetheart, Miss Rav, she wanted to do this show, and she said we have to do it outside because it just doesn't fit on a stage. And we scouted several different places. Was her pick. I happened to like Buckland, and they go through the Old Forest Tunnel and going into the Old Forest, but that was a huge distance that they had to travel. So we ended up with this, and this was Miss Rad's baby picking this site.
What was y'all's biggest challenges this time around?
I'll go first. For me, the most challenging thing in this show was that all the songs are very complicated and they're very fast and they have multiple singers. So they're difficult to sing. And I spent many hours practicing my songs, both by myself and with the other cast members who were very graciously willing to give their time to practice these songs so that we could get them just right. And I think when you see the show, you'll be amazed at how complex and interesting these songs are.
Tahnys hinted at the music, and it was my most challenging. The MIDI files were not readily available, so I managed to get my hands on the sheet music for the orchestral score. And two interesting things came out of that was, one, I became very good at reading sheet music because I was transcribing it from sheet music to MIDI files and then MIDI files down to the ABC files. That's all boring nerd talk. But the other part I found very challenging is it is such a fast-moving show, and there are so many little tiny songs that are 40 and 50 seconds long, so that we didn't drive the band away from us because we didn't want to have them queuing up 50 different songs during the show. I was splicing these songs together. And they're all at different tempos. So I was splicing them all together. So there are songs where the music flows from one song to the next, kind of in the flavor of an orchestral score. And I found that very, very challenging, but very rewarding for my developing music.
For me, as a performer in the show, and I think that it's the same for all of us because this is such an innovative way of performing a show. We've, in the past, have mostly done our shows on one stage or another, but being completely in the landscape like we're doing it now, it's a little bit different, and it does present its own challenges where before we had points of reference, we knew exactly where we were supposed to be standing when we did certain scenes or where to move to, and now that's kind of not it's not there like we're used to having. So it is a challenge, and it was definitely an ambitious undertaking, but the cast has really stepped up. I think we've all done a tremendous job. Everybody has kind of figured out what they need to do, and I think we should really be happy with the way that it's looking, considering that we don't have a lot of those things that we were used to.
Having attended the dress rehearsal, I can tell you guys that I was super impressed with the fact that you guys are doing this in landscape. I thought that it was one of the biggest new innovative things that y'all are doing for this specific show, and I think the audience is absolutely gonna love seeing Middle Earth come to life in a completely different way than what they have experienced it before. What do you guys have planned next?
Well, our next show is going to be an adaptation of the Broadway musical Aladdin, which is coming in May of this year to the Bree Festival stage. And it's going to be an exciting show with all the glitz and razzmatazz you expect from BTC. And we're all looking forward to it very much.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting show. We actually do have a trailer video on BTC's YouTube channel, and there's a link to that in the description here. So if you want to take a look at that, get a little preview of it, we're excited not only to be bringing that show to the stage at the Bree Festival ground, but we're also excited to see how many new cast members we can get that would like to participate and be involved in one way or another. If you see Into the Woods or have seen any of our other shows in the past and would like to try your hand at acting or any of the other number of roles that we have, please reach out to Bijon, Khae, or myself on the Brandywine server, or any of the other cast members that you see in Into the Woods. Just reach out to us. Let us know that you're interested, even if you're not sure what you want to do. We have many different types of roles. Not everything is on stage. We have crew members, a lot of behind the scenes stuff that happens. We need ushers, special effects people, sound effects. We also have pre-production roles where you can actually help put the show together before we even take it to rehearsals. And if you do want to try your hand at acting, we do have some smaller roles, such as ensemble, dancers. We also have any number of roles that you could audition for, and no experience is required. So you could definitely reach out to us if you think that it might be fun. We rehearse typically one night a week, and then the week of the show, we do have a couple extra rehearsals, but it's not a huge time commitment depending on what type of role you want to take on. And if it sounds like fun, please reach out to us. We'd really like to hear from you. For any new members and existing cast members, for performing workshops, we will have BTC workshops where we'll help people learn stagecraft, we'll learn stage movement, how to use the plugins in the game, and kind of just get started. They're introductory, and then for once we get through those, we'll have some more intermediate and advanced classes to learn some more complicated techniques. So we're really pushing ourselves to see how well we can do this. But for people just starting off, we definitely have ways to kind of get you started from the very beginning of coming in and learning how to do these things. None of it is all that difficult, and all of it, I promise you, is a lot of fun.
Well, thanks for stopping by today, BTC, and as a friendly reminder to everyone, Into the Woods will premiere on Friday, March 10th at 8 p.m. server time on the Brandywine server, or if you are not on the Brandywine server, you're more than welcome to watch the live feed right here on Miloascape. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you then.